Ba-bum. Let's see, everybody. Is it live or is it a clone? It's live. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Happy Friday. Happy joy to your day. Allow me to have the honor to invoke favor upon your life today. That fabulous favor that, just it feel good no matter what you do. So trust that you're doing good and that your state of consciousness is in a good place. So nothing missing, nothing broken. So hello, everybody. Hello, David Barry. So good to see you. Gary Reed. David, let's get you back on. Hey, Spirit Girl. Let me see who else is there. I know Julianne Payne from Down Under. I guess it's your fall now, isn't it, Julie? I think it. John Price, good to see you. Isla, good to see you. Pamela, B3, and Alan. So good. Hey, Lois, how are you doing? Good to see you. Brandy, think agape love and always forever. Good to see you. Melissa. So good to see you all. So I'll turn you on to an artist. I discovered his work, geez, back in 97. And look him up. The artist's name is Taryn Bush. He is probably one of the most expressive artists. I'll just show you some of his work. I mean, look at that. And let's see. Pull this back so you can see it. Excuse all the monitors up there, but it's fabulous. And I'll tell you, I have a print of his, and I love looking at. You can't even get these anymore. I got this up in, where was I? I think I was in Breckenridge. It was in I think 99. Anyway, check him out, folks. He's really a good artist, and if you ever get a chance, get his work. Get it. Thank you, Twisted Isme. Appreciate that. Hello, Eric. Good to see you. And Jill, Divine Empress. Good to see you. And Kent, hello. Hiya. Good to see you. David, Cheryl. So I want to address something. So there's a lot of videos going around on YouTube of people walking up with cell phone cameras to hospitals. And they're showing them dead, nothing there. And they go into the lobby and there's nothing there. Yeah, what do you expect there to be? All hospitals are on lockdown. Notice none of those videos, ladies and gentlemen, go upstairs, go up the floors. You know why? You can't get up there because they're full and they'll arrest you. And my whole point to this, folks, there's a reason why they're empty. They're quarantined. And, they have to do the intake. They went and showed videos of ambulance drivers. Folks, this is not a freaking battlefield where bullets are flying back and forth. It's not like that. And those that are already, they have categories already on them, codes. It to me is just use some common sense here. So yeah, you're going to see every hospital virtually empty in the lobbies. Why? Because it's quarantined. I mean, folks, there is so much nonsense going on. We've got to approach this with balance, with clarity, and not be making crap up. It's just ridiculous. Someone said today that the nurses are in on this. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? It's not like they don't have enough already on their plate. Oh, they got plenty of time to sign up for the conspiracy. That's the most asinine thing I have heard. When nurses that are sick. There's a shortage of nurses in Denver. They're calling up nurses that have been retired. And there's many in the medical field, which I want to thank all of you people on the front line, the truck drivers, the stockers in the stores, the clerks, all the way up to the doctors, the EMTs, the nurses. Thank you. Whether you believe this is real or not, people are getting sick. That's just a fact. And it's not a fun disease. And again, this is, remember, you have to remember where the origins of this thing came from. It doesn't act like a normal virus. It attacks the immune system in organs differently in different people. So I just I get riled up, excuse me, as I get this cord back here. When I hear this, they're not going up on the floors. Take your cameras up there and then come back and show us your reporting. So, folks, balance, please. Now, if there's nothing wrong in saying, but there seems to be something else going on. Yeah, I agree with you. There does seem to be something else going on. And that can lead to a lot of speculation. But don't be talking about the frontline people, man. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So anyway, I'll get off my high horse on this one. But again, I watched a video and no one gave the explanation. And it was staring them right in their face. You know, I think they asked ambulance drivers, listen, this is not like, if you're in a hot zone, it's bad. People know that. You ask the nurses and the doctors up in Connecticut, New Jersey, and New York. You ask the doctors out here in rural America that are suffering with this thing, where one doctor in a town in Eastern Colorado, had put in 100 hours, no sleep. You know, it's got to have balance, folks. That's all I can say. So that's my 2 cents worth. And follow me up on this. Try to go up an elevator at one of those hospitals. You ain't going anywhere, Jack. So anyway, you know, sometimes I just go, what's wrong with people? Well, thank you, Chris. Very kind of you. So 1 in 300,000 is the odds of a asteroid hitting the Earth and doing the Ellie thing, you know, the eliminating life. Boom, gone. So I began to think, well, what other type of odds? Excuse me. Oh, that went down the wrong pipe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo. Yeah, that'll put a little perk in your step. Uh, people are addicted to drama, because I think that that's true. And, you know, hey, listen, there are conspiracies. There's no doubt about it. It is a fact that there are conspiracies. I mean, it's a fact. It's just sometimes figuring out which one is like really got the thing that everyone thinks. So anyway, I have told you this and I will tell you this again and again. The virus doesn't bother me. There's ways, by the way, you all know the order will be coming out starting next week. Everyone will be required to wear a mask. If you're fortunate enough to have one of the N95s, then you're doing all right, but you can even use the surgical mask. But here in the United States, that will be coming out, and you'll start seeing it implemented everywhere. I guess we're going to become the next China. I don't know. So get used to it. And it's just the way it is. So I began to look at this and I said, well, what other type of odds do you and I face every day? And it's real interesting. So I put this up. So this is based upon the probability of dying in any one year for various causes. I mean, because isn't that what we're talking about here? If you're the group that out there that believes that, excuse me, that this is God's judgment, all right. So what are your odds on that? If you're of the group that says, hey, this is a man-made thing, we screwed up. Well, what's the odds of that? And I found this one really interesting. So, motor vehicle accident, living in the United States is 1 in 100. Smoking 10 cigarettes a day, dying from that, is 1 in 200. Isn't that interesting? All natural causes at the age of 40, 1 in 850. Wow. Any kind of violence or poisoning, 1 in 3,300. Influenza, the flu. This is in a category of just combining, 10 years of data. 1 in 5,000. I found that interesting. An accident on the road, living in Europe, driving in Europe, 1 in 8,000. Leukemia, 1 in 12,500. An asteroid or comet impact, living in the United States, 1 in 20,000. Wow, you think about the Ellie event, but this means that, we could still get hit and still survive it. There was a big one that blew up right over Puerto Rico recently. An earthquake, living in Iran, 1 in 23,500. I thought that one seemed to me to be a little high in the statistics, because I think it's actually should be lower, because they seem to have them regular. Playing field sports, dying now, remember, 1 in 25,000. An accident at home that would kill you is 1 in 26,000. An accident at work that would lead to your death, 1 in 43,500. Floods taking your life if you live in Bangladesh, 1 in 50,000. Radiation, working in the radiation industry, 1 in 57,000. I don't know, man. That'll make your testicles shrink, won't it? A tornado, living in the United States, 1 in 60,000. I thought that would probably be lower, like 1 in, maybe 15,000. But then again, tornadoes in the past have been primarily in the South, Southeast, but they're expanding. All right. Homicide, living in Europe, 1 in 100,000. Wow. Floods, living in northern China, 1 in 100,000. A railway accident traveling in Europe, causing your death, 1.5 million. Okay. Earthquake, living in California, 1 in 2 million. I don't know. I saw that and I went, really? Okay. Food poisoning by botulism in the United States, 1 in 3 million. All right, well, okay. Wanted that number to be higher, but okay. Hit by lightning, 1 in 10 million. Now, guess where you're more likely to be struck by lightning? In Colorado. More people die of being hit by lightning in Colorado. They forget that those mountains, uh, they're electric, baby. All right. A windstorm, living in Northern Europe, 1 in 10 million. Being audited by the IRS, 1 in 160. Winning an Oscar, 1 in 11,500. I went, wow, okay, that's a performance. Being injured by a toilet. Now, if you have this statistic, you know what that implies. A lot of people are getting the shit beat out of them by their toilets. I mean, I saw this and I went, you're telling me 1 in 10,000. Now, you look at any normal mid-sized city. Let's say you have, for instance, a population of 100,000. There are 10 people losing their shit to a toilet, leading to potential death. Who would have thought? Dying in an airplane crash, 1 in 205,552. Winning the Powerball jackpot, 1 in 292 million. Okay. Dying from a foodborne illness, 1 in 500. Dying from obesity, 1 in 100. Wow, I saw that and I went, whoa, baby. Getting struck by lightning, 1 and again in nearly 80,000. Developing skin cancer, 1 in 33. That one really was a surprise. Contracting HIV, 1 in 1,000. Getting pregnant from unprotected sexual intercourse, 1 in 20. Oh, man. Practice safe coitus. Committing suicide, 1 in 10,000. Having a panic attack, 1 in 5. That's weird. Dying in a house fire, 1 in 1,000. There's that number again. You know, who would have guessed? Get it cheating on, 1 in 5. Holy crap. 1 in 5? That sucks. Shark attack, 1 in 60,453. Electrocution, 1 in 1 million versus heart disease, 1 in 5. So how about this one? Getting murdered, 1 in 200. Of course, we talked about hitting the lottery jackpot, and I think this one is based in New York. Now, here's an interesting thing. Being born. There is a 1 in, let's see, that's 550 trillion, no, billion, 443,279,001, that there is only a 1 in 550 billion chance that someone will be born who is exactly like you. So you say, well, that's interesting, Wayne. And yes, it is. So it's interesting because, here's the thing that I think about. Why did they shut down the economy? Was it really, this pandemic that seems to be everywhere? It's like, man, the bugs, and the consequences. There's consequences to everything. And then I'm thinking, now, wait a minute. There's more and more. This is, I call this event, by the way, this is a Wayneism. I call this event the frog in the boiling pan syndrome. I think we're the frog, and I think the water is starting to get boiling, and a lot of people ain't paying attention. So I'm going, okay, this is interesting. How do we go with this? So odds. What are the odds, right? Someone sent me a interesting article, and while I am thinking about this, tomorrow, this one is this website's one someone sent me. I know it's over in the Crystal Network, David Barry's YouTube channel as well, but here it is. The Ascension Timeline Meditation, 1 day, 8 hours, 26 minutes, and 55 seconds. Urgent call for 1 million meditators to liberate and reclaim our world. I think we can do it. I believe we can do it. On April 4th, 2020, at precisely 10:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or April 5th, 2:45 a.m. I think that's UTC time. When a celestial stargate opens, this is, I'll leave the link to this, but it gets into, I really like what they wrote here, the purpose for this. And I think, read it if you wish. It's pretty well done. And I think it's something we definitely need. Um, it's getting weird, folks. That's all I can say. So, have you heard of the asteroid Wuhan? Jeanine sent me this, and I thought it was so cool that I would share it with everybody, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on with the 2020. It's like the 2020 is going to go down as the year of cancellation. And they remark about that. So this is to Demetra George. Goes on and introduces, he said that their friend and colleague, Brenda Wilson, alerted me to the movement of the asteroid Wuhan and its synchronicity with timing to the current pandemic. I'm sharing her insightful article below, and I'll leave the website on this as well. In brief, the asteroid Wuhan, discovered in 1980 at the Purple Mountain Observatory, entered into Capricorn in early January, shortly before the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. The average rate of speed for asteroids is about 1 degree for every 4 days. Since then, it has been progressively passing over the south node, Jupiter, Mars, Pluto, Saturn. It enters Aquarius mid-April, but by the end of May turns retrograde around, I think it's 4 degrees Aquarius, and passes back over Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. It turns direct at the end of August, once again contracting Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn until mid-November, when it enters Aquarius for about the next 4 months. There it will prepare the way for the holistic Jupiter-Saturn conjunction near the winter solstice. Brenda has laid out the specific timeline, and I'm going to read this. This is something. And commentary for the rest of the year. You can obtain the zodiac positions for asteroid Wuhan through asteroid.com, asteroid calculations. Boethus, one of the last of the classical scholars, was imprisoned after the fall of Rome. There he wrote his masterpiece on the consolidation of philosophy. We are all also fortunate to have the consolidation of astrology to nourish our minds during this period of forced isolation, where, to the extent we are able, can cultivate our inner lives as a place of refuge. Blessings to all of you and your family for a safe passage through these turbulent times, Demetra. So here we go. A Cautionary Asteroid Tale, a novel coronavirus by Brenda Wilson, dedicated with gratitude to Demetra George. Time for another installment of Asteroid Tales, an astrological narrative on how asteroids give us clues and point to what the fate decree. What a novel idea. Our story today begins with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in the high traffic, third decan of Capricorn in January 2020. Astrologers have been grappling with the meaning, and expounding vague, ominous warnings for almost a decade. This is a huge capitalized moment in time for astrologers, and now also proving to be a story worthy of the history books. And this is going to go down in history. What? I don't know yet. One amusing, descriptive keyword for March from the astro community was the word soup. I think that was Austin Kopek's coin. Perhaps there is room for the keyword soup within this tale of a killer respiratory pandemic that sneaks through all the human thresholds, and defenses and brings the traditional capitalistic governments, societal structures, and economies to their knees. All of these are Capricorn signatures, including the knees. They are doubled down with Saturn and domicile, powerful, present in the sign. Some astrologers, there was an unanimous and grave concern that this conjunction would be serious and life changing, but all possibilities were on the table. We did not know what exact form it would take or that it would certainly become a pandemic specifically. We could only guess. I assert that we just might, could, would have seen this transit with more detailed and specificity. If we were to pay attention to the asteroids conjuncting the degrees of the conjunction event, or in this case, basically the whole decan. Awareness of the asteroidal participants may add more precision in the form of material to our predictions. It would be fascinating to see infrareds for all the asteroids in Capricorn during the Saturn-Pluto conjunction to find other clues that are presenting themselves. Play with that idea if you like. Regarding the coronavirus timeframe, if you think things are going to go back to normal by Easter, think again. According to current asteroid and astronomical weather, you might want to plan for a long haul, 2021 and beyond. In its brighter moments, this pandemic may have wide-reaching effects and may give us broad new opportunities to rethink structures and rebuild a better world that serves all creatures in the pursuits of life, liberty, and happiness, rather than the pursuit of money. Let me unpack this for you here. Enter the Wuhan asteroid emergence. Our tale begins at the time of Hallows Eve 2019, when the veil between the worlds is thin. Flowers and beautiful skeletons innocently decorate the world cultures in the remembrance of those that are dead. It is a time of death in the northern hemisphere, when leaves dry up and trees go dormant and the cold rushes in. An asteroid named Wuhan, in orbit between Mars and Jupiter, quietly sits at the end of the first decan of Sagittarius, applying to a conjunction with the USA's ascendance degree at 12 degrees Sagittarius, the Sibley chart. You astrologers know this better than I do. Here on Halloween, and I think that this is Troemper, yeah. Asteroid sits at 21 degrees Capricorn, conjuncting Pluto and the Pluto-Saturn conjunction point, and making a huge opposition in Trump's own personal natal chart in 6th and 12th houses. During this time, impeachment is looming. The presidential natal chart becomes also a USA chart for the duration of the presidency as per Dementia. As the sun moves from the Anaric crisis degree of Scorpio in the USA's 12th house of undoing and into the cup of Sagittarius, the Wuhan asteroid simultaneously passes over the US ascendant degree. An Anaric degree is the final degree of any sign, holding weight in all previous degrees at a crisis point. It is in this moment the novel coronavirus emerges in China. The Wuhan asteroid is co-present with Jupiter at this time in domicile of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a wild and animistic sign of foreign cultures and rapid expansion that is extreme when out of balance. Wuhan asteroid and Jupiter in the U.S. chart ruler makes many contacts in this timeline and dance with each other through Capricorn Jupiter's fall, making mischief in the United States financial markets and opposing the U.S. Stellium in the 8th house of death. The first house here indicates the face or corpulence of our country, or in other words, the body, specifically people's bodies. The coronavirus symbolically and correspondingly enters the body through the face, the front door, or first house, so to speak. As a side note, the USA Sibley natal chart, Wuhan asteroid is parked on ominous fixed demon star Algol degree. And that happens to coincide with Donald Trump's ominous natal medium Coley, also on the Algol degree. USA has pandemic asteroid in 9th house of foreign lands, and chaos asteroid is in the USA's 10th house is conjunct with Neptune. China asteroid is conjunct with Saturn in USA natal chart as well. On December 31st, 2019, Wuhan asteroid 29 degrees on the Anaric crisis degree Sagittarius. Chinese health officials inform World Health Organization of mysterious virulent infectious pneumonia. Then they close a wet seafood meat market that most of the patients visited. The virus is believed to have originated with the wild animal trade, symbolic, SAG, animalistic origins. Thankfully, the wild animal trade is already now outlawed in China. The pangolin is the suspected vector, is an endangered species that was still being trafficked. I didn't know I didn't know that. I am happy for the success for the pangolins to have humans kept at bay. The fear for the huge karmatic repercussions for engaging in cruel poaching practices for all humans. Wuhan asteroid now applying to the karmic Saturnine Capricornian cusp to be co-present for the upcoming Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is already within the same degree orb at 22 degrees Capricorn. January 10th, Sunday, Mercury, Casimir, 19 degrees Capricorn. It is on this day that the health authorities identified the emerging threats as a deadly novel coronavirus, a microscopic coronated virus. The radiant light of the sun, with its own a glorious and illustrious corona, is Casimir with the archon of intelligence. This moment casts the illuminating light and shines the truth to a shocked world. China also records its first death as the Wuhan asteroid makes its debut into Capricorn. January 12th, exact Saturn-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn at 22 degrees, with Wuhan now co-present in Capricorn. January 13th, with the first case outside China reported in Thailand, the virus jumps borders, symbolic of the Wuhan asteroid crossing the boundary, the cusp, into Capricorn, and moving into new territory, earth sign, governments, border crossings, invasions. The sun moves to 22 degrees Capricorn, the place Pluto occupied in November, when this virus emerged in the Wuhan meat market as well. Here, the sun again illuminates the Plutonian destructive phase and pathway. Corona time is at hand. January 20th, first U.S. case reported. January 21st, first U.S. case in Washington is hospitalized. Sun at Anaric crisis degree Capricorn. January 22nd, Trump claims we have it totally under control. January 23rd, Wuhan City goes into quarantine 2 days before the new year of the rat, 2020. Quarantine is severe, locking people down when many want to travel home for the holiday. They cannot even go to the store. Food is delivered. Rat years are legendary for being associated with plague and diseases. In this case, it was a scaly anteater. Wuhan asteroid now at 5 degrees Capricorn. Wuhan asteroid just separating here from the degree of Malik 5. I'm not sure what that is, or S, excuse me, node solar eclipse, December 25th. And also beginning to activate degrees recently held by Sun, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, South Node, and even Pluto. Other eclipse points in disrupting the U.S. Cancer stellium with an opposition and activating the second financial sector versus the 8th house of death, the shared resources and government support dynamics. Buckle up. January 30th. WHO declares pandemic. Wuhan asteroid, 10 degrees Capricorn, applying conjunction with Jupiter in his fall. I see Jupiter in fall here like a gas pedal, and Wuhan, the lead-footed, speeded freak. Saturn is the lord of karma, and Pluto the destroyer, in the first degree of the orb conjunction. January 31st, U.S. bans travel from China. February 2nd, first death outside China. February 7th, Chinese doctor whistleblower dies. He warned authorities but was reprimanded and was forced to sign a letter stating he falsely communicated and made an error. Chinese hashtag we want freedom of speech, hashtag emerged. February 8th, first American dies in Beijing as moon domiciled in Cancer, lighting up USA stellium, in 8th house of death. February 9th, death toll rising. The malefic Mars is moving into the anarchic crisis degree of Sagittarius, USA's body, first house. February 11th, COVID-19 named by WHO, situation rapidly accelerating. February 21st, U.S. stock market crashes, with Mars now in Capricorn. COVID cases spiking in Iran, Italy, South Korea. February 26th, first case emerges in California without a clear source, suggesting community spread. Trump claims U.S. is really prepared and calls the coronavirus the Democrats' new hoax. At this point, the Tromaper asteroid has moved into Pisces, moving with Mercury in its fall in retrograde phase and also moving over Neptune. Here, the truth is as clear as mud soup. Mike Pence named to head U.S. response team. February 29th, first U.S. death on U.S. soil. March 9th, Black Monday, U.S. stock market crashes again. Worst drop since Great Depression, 2008. All U.S. states declare state of emergency. Wuhan asteroid conjunct Jupiter. U.S. chart ruler in fall at 21 degrees Capricorn. Mouth flick. Mars also then conjuncts Jupiter 22 degrees. Pluto Saturn conjuncting point with Wuhan at 23 degrees Capricorn, Pluto 24 degrees Capricorn, and Saturn 29 anaric crisis degree of the domicile of Capricorn. March 13th, Trump declares a national emergency. Things have now come to a head. The governmental bodies starting to take action. At this point, we are looking at the situation of a fox now in the henhouse. This tiny, free-floating strand of malefic genetic material has monopolized and manipulated all the hidden weakness of our first world global societies. Its novelty, difficulty testing procedures, challenge to ventilator capacity, asymptomatic exposure, etc., have brought a huge conundrum and challenge to our most treasured structures and systems of the world. March 15th, the Ides of March came, Caesar's joke. I, Caesar, but not gone, replied the seer. Julius Caesar, Shakespeare in the Isles of March. March 16th, social distancing practices being recommended and businesses begin to close. People begin self-quarantining and isolating. Those with symptoms ask for tests, with no test offered until hospitalization requires it. Many states underreporting data because tests are not at the forefront of the containment strategy. March 20th, New York Governor Cuomo orders all non-essential workers home. People start to see something presidential about Cuomo. March 23rd, shelter-in-place orders nationwide by each governor. Arizona man dies following. President remarks on possible vaccines for anti-malaria drugs. March 26th, U.S. takes China with overtakes China with the most corona cases. March 27th, U.S. surpasses 100,000 cases as Trump touts great success. Mercury still in fall, now directs Pisces, but conjunct Neptune. Our ventilator capacity is 55,000. Trump wants to open country back and restart economy. Uh, Dr. Fauci insists on current quarantine practices until at least May. Alabama bucks and refuses to shut down. Some people still believe it is a hoax. April 5th, Jupiter conjuncts with Pluto at 24 degrees Capricorn. Wuhan asteroid passing over this point with lesser malefic Mars and Anarect crisis degree Capricorn, and applying to a conjunction with the great malefic Saturn at 1 degree Aquarius. The Wuhan asteroid travels all the way through Capricorn, then stops at the 4th degree of Aquarius to retrograde this summer back to the 19th degree of Capricorn to conjunct with Jupiter, U.S. chart ruler, in fall. April 15th, Wuhan asteroids moves to 29 degrees of the Anarch crisis degree of Capricorn to conjoin with Saturn. At this point in our cautionary tale, we are only halfway through. Maybe we get a tiny break here with Wuhan in Aquarius. I'm thinking not. Saturn is present in orb and totally ruling Capricorn, Aquarius cusp. It is his cusp. And unless we are doing it right, he is a taskmaster and karmic lord. He asked for acknowledgement and meters out consequences. So here is what to watch. Wuhan asteroid retrogrades May 30th. By June 30th, Wuhan asteroid is back at that pesky 2 degrees Aquarius, the USA Trumper degree, with Saturn, the karma, present at 1 degree Aquarius. It is here that Jupiter-Pluto makes another exact conjunction at the 24 degrees Capricorn, a hot degree that Wuhan revisits again and again in retrograde and finally directs motions. July 4th, USA's birthday, might be subdued, moody, and a sad day for America with the sun at 13 degrees Cancer. Natalie, it is on this degree and on this day, a perumbral lunar eclipse in Cancer at 9:45 Pacific time. This signifies an ending or an culmination of some kind in the U.S. House of Death, taxes, and shared finances. July 30th, Wuhan asteroid moves back to conjunct Pluto at 24 degrees near Saturn's retrograde at 27 degrees. August 30th, Wuhan asteroid travels back to 19 degree Capricorn, Sun Mercury, Casimir Point, where it conjuncts with Jupiter again and stations direct with a square gaze from the malefic Mars, now in its retrograde shadows in Aries, and also squaring Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. October 26, Wuhan makes its final pass over Pluto to meet Saturn, the great malefic, again at 26 degrees Capricorn. November 30th, Wuhan asteroid finally moves onto Aquarius, leaving Mars to finish the transit by squaring Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn from Aries, still in retrograde cycle. December 20th, 2020. Staying tuned for Jupiter Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius, reviving all the energy from the past year over this highly sensitive point where Wuhan, Saturn, and Mars have passed. The world awaits Jupiter with bated breath in this moment. The final performance of this cosmic dance will be the Pluto return for the USA in 2020 and ingress of Pluto into Aquarius in 2023-24. Did I mention that 2020 is canceled? At least I can see that this is going to be a tenuous and extended time of introversion, distance, and introspection. And what an appropriate way to spend Saturn in Aquarius, but by mandatory aloofness. The astrological omens are good for that. It is time to keep safe and revive parts of us that have been forgotten. We will all have to adapt to a new normal and recreate what we are missing in our lives. We are all in a time cocoon with opportunity to emerge as a butterfly if we choose. I see this as a calling for that. Fate is what happens to us, and free will is how we respond. I just heard back Rick Levine say, and I like it. We can choose to get materialistic and go in fear, or we can witness as a natural observer, present to what the moment is trying to teach. We are on the precipice of a great change that we all know is desperately needed for our world at this time. We have free will to choose our individual response, and we can find freedom in maintaining dominion and control of that response. This is our power. This is where our power lies. I'm choosing to take this opportunity to make better choices for myself and the world. The birds seem happier today. The world is quieter, and pollution and destruction is at a standstill. My advice in this moment would be to reinvent and call forward what is missing from your life. Innovate, evolve, get active. Use this precious time wisely. And P.S. Angelic asteroids abound in these charts I have been discussing too. We will heal with patience and generosity. The Asclepius Healer and Doctor asteroid is at the Wuhan retrograde point at 4 degrees Aquarius on December 15, 2020. Just as the asteroid Angel has passes over the U.S. ascendant degree. This activity is just prior to the Jupiter-Saturn exact conjunction. Maybe an angel force will join us here on Earth for that, to show us that love really is our way out. Again, I'll leave the link on this for everyone to get. Yeah, that is a humdinger, is it not? I don't know. I am not well versed in astrology, as many of you are. But what's that say? Please don't forget, we all know they don't win. Yep. Yeah. And it seems to be the recurring theme that I see two paths being taken. I see the fear on those who have always been in fear, and it's exponential. And I'm seeing those who seek the peace of path of love, favor, forgiveness. Um, it's amplified exponentially. So I don't know. What do y'all think? I'm just looking in the chat room. So it's it seems that there is some credibility to this. I never heard of the asteroid Wuhan, but I looked it up and it's there. Again, many of you are well versed in astrology, and this probably has more meaning to you than a novice as myself, merely reading it and, trying to catch up on the fly. Um, so are there any astrologers in the chat room? I'm just curious. Okay, Joyce, are you serious? All right. She's given a link to a uh, YouTube channel. If it helps, I mean, listen, it seems to be one of the things I know is that the Federal Reserve has astrologers. Every government has astrologers. They pay them big bucks. And so I've known that for decades. When I first heard that the Federal Reserve actually has astrologers. They have also those who with astrology they follow the sun, and when the sun is in an active period, this has an effect on the way we react to something. Did you know that? They've known that for years. Suzanne says this is very interesting. Ah, yeah, wasn't that a weird thing with, Como's brother? I mean, whoa. So, I mean, there is and of course, there's the whole theory between, 5G. I mean, you know, um, seems like there's just a lot of coincidences here. Hmm, methinketh there is a rat. What did Shakespeare write? I thinketh thou protestest too much. Yeah, I'm thinking that this is something. So I'll make sure to leave the link to that the website so you can go there directly yourself and check it out. She seems to be very talented, very bright, and I love it when I see researchers presenting their hypothesis and validating it with substantiability of what they're actually seeing. I think that that to me is, I think it's the year of the rats. Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to get to. I smell a rat. And it's true. Rats are known to carry disease. I mean, you know, I don't know. I want the year of the monkey, I seem to be much more gentile, as that said. Uh that said, would you have invoked love and favor on the old mate Patrick on the planets? Yeah, yeah. I'm glad to see Patrick is back in the saddle. It's good. Um, check him out over there. I don't know what channel it is. So been a while since but anyway, check them out. I'm glad that they're making connection there. It's listen, we could use some, you know, how should we say, higher wisdom. And so absolutely. What else can I do for you? The Chinese year of the rat. Last rat year was 2008. Now, Isla, that's very interesting. What was 2008? It was anything but a good year. I mean, folks, we went into the second depression. They're calling it the Great Recession. That's just a metaphor for masking the fact that it was the second Great Depression. Um, yeah, that's New York City has a lot of rats. Yeah, it is interesting. I hadn't seen that before. Uh, so well, go over there and let them. I'm like I said, I'm glad that Patrick he went through a rough time, and you know, unless you've walked a mile in another person's shoes, you never know. That's why we always have to be sensitive, you know, always loving, always uplifting. And I encourage people to go out on your own path. That's what it's about. Develop your gifts and talents. Let the world see it. This is a great opportunity. Imagine, you know, 50 years ago, if this had happened, we would not have had the ability to communicate on such an instantaneous basis. And I'm excited. I hope some people do some shows on Friday night. It's going to be interesting, and I'll leave the other link as well for you on the blog that really lays it out. And tomorrow, let's do this. It's 8:45 my time, and I believe that we can send a bulge. Still haven't. But we're going to send a bulge out. Exactly. And, they're going to know. So that portal is going to be open. And I say, let's take full. Listen, it's an opportunity as well. I haven't heard anyone talk about this. When portals open, they're two-way doors to dimensions. So if we're sending a mental signal through, would it not reason that a, a higher intelligence, equal intelligence, of a collective, of a species, would be sending a signal back through? I don't know. I think that that's interesting. That's what I'm going to be opening myself up to. I want to be in a position that I think communication works two ways. We've read enough of that. We're going to pick back up. We're going to finish The Hidden Hand and then finish book 1 of the Masters. But all of them teach the same thing. It's love. It's forgiveness. It's unconditional, non-judgmental, and it's understanding that salvation, your deliverance, your supply is within. I don't see what's wrong with that message. To me, I think that message is wonderful. It aligns with my core beliefs as I see reality. I don't know what can be better than unconditional, non-judgmental love, favor, and acceptance. We seem to have a difficult time with that. Um, but anyway, that's just my opinion. But I know many of you share it as well. So there we go. Yeah, well, remember, everyone, keep it balanced now. Just keep it balanced. Listen, I believe that the truth can be accessed in the realm of the ether. Truth is not hidden. It's only appears that way. And so that's where I seek to get with my answers. It works. Well, thank you, David Barry. Hiya, yes, our leaders are lost. It is a shame. Yeah, it is. So anyway, folks, have yourself a great, strong week. Who says it has to be the weekend? I always look at it, we're the ones who arbitrarily said Monday was the beginning of the week. I think that, this is every day is the beginning of our, uh, I don't even like to say the word week, Julianne Payne, what would be another word for week? W-E-E-K. How could we rephrase that? It's an interesting thought. So invoking favor in all of us, loving protection for all of you. Don't be in fear. Don't feed on it. Don't get near it. Create. Draw. There is so much therapy that you can be doing. Get into the mandala. Get in there and start drawing. Find yourself. Get back creative. Become that child, that explorer, where everything was curious. Don't sit around moping. Get up and start stoking. That's what I say. So anyway, everyday living. I like that. Everyday living. Thank you, Julianne. Going to get you on, hon. We'll have to do an hour of some poetry. I think that would be, probably won't be heavily attended, but who cares? This is the time for, the way I look at it, what a great opportunity for enlightenment. You can't go anywhere. So, man, I say let's muscle up. Let's muscle up here. Let's muscle up here and get ready for the show. That's what I say. Excellent, excellent, Darth. I like that. Excellent. Stealth drone, excellent. Yeah, yeah. Spirit girl, no fear, only love. That's the only way. That's the only way. All right, far out, folks. Have yourself a great living each day. Saturday, the Sunday, the Monday. At they keep us at this pace. I mean, what is it going to matter what Monday is? We could say, all right, it's Wednesday, the first day of the week. Anyway, I always think of the who was it who sang the song Another Manic Monday? Was that the Cranberries? Just another manic Monday. Who was that? Well, you're welcome, Susie Q. Appreciate that. Who did that? Just another manic Monday. Who wrote that? Who sung that? Come on, you guys know. Thank you, John. Oh, no, that's cool. The Bengals. Thank you, David Barry. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, there we go. I was getting close, but yeah. So hey, I'll see you on Monday. And maybe over the weekend. Who knows? The weekend there, I said it. You see? It's programmed, baby. It's programmed. All right. Be good to yourselves. Love yourself, and you're going to be able to love others. And no fear. No fear, man. As Brian says, be the frequency you want to be. All right, folks. Peace. And we will talk real soon. All right. Bye-bye.